world right now in today's time. They want the money, the light, the handbags, and the big houses, but that is false. What people actually desire is respect. People want to be respected. Like, I want to earn people's respect, to say, you know what, she did something hard and I look up to that.
You say that and that hit me because, so we got the big house, we got the fancy cars, I got the fancy handbags, and now it's like I look back at all of that and I wish I would have just been able to keep it simple, because I feel like some of my friends I lost because they thought I got too big, but I just grew with my husband. We came from a 1,400 square foot condo into a 6,400 square foot house. First of all, I was like, do I like this? Yeah, it was awesome. And now I think about it, I'm like, God, I wish I would have just kept my life simple.
You're reminding me to stay humble and have gratitude, but I was sitting there and I remember like, the flooring of this house, we just bought this beautiful house actually 2 months ago. And here I am, like, this flooring is just, I don't like it. And the cabinets that are in here, like, it just looks cheap. It looks like somebody just picked it from Goodwill and put it in here. I'm like, I want it all gutted out. I want to paint it. I want to redo the floors. We need to do this. And I'm like, I want to put a TV on the wall so when we're cycling, we can watch TV too. And I'm like, upgrading all these things. And it's funny that you say that, because I'm like, man, everybody's like more and bigger and bigger and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And it just, you saying that right now, I'm just like, it grounds me, because I'm like, you know what? Like, I should just be grateful that I'm here. We're in a room with AC. We have water. I'm nourished. Like, those are the simple things. Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast. I have a wonderful woman here today with me, somebody that has gone through trials, tribulations, is a professional athlete. I don't even know how I even came across her, but I called her and talked to her on the phone like a month ago, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, we got to do a podcast together. She lives here locally in Scottsdale, Arizona, and as I was talking to her on the phone, just all the bravery, the courage that she's endured, the cycles in life, the different things that God has presented her with has just, it's inspired me, and I know that she's inspired a bunch of other people. So today, for the first time ever, I actually have our first athlete, and this is Miss Valerie Thompson. I'm so excited to have you on our podcast today.
I'm so excited to be the first.
We normally have like business people, sales people, sales organizations, people in the medical industry, teachers, but now I'm just like, this is awesome because this is our first athlete, and Miss Valerie is known for the fastest motorcycle
land speed racer.
I was waiting for her to finish it so she could be faster than me. And what was the miles per hour?
328.467 miles per hour.
World's fastest, and I'm just so honored. I'm so excited to have you on here.
I'm excited to be
Welcome
here.
to be on the podcast. Well, I'd kind of like to get to know your story a little bit more, and the way that I love doing these podcasts is, and at the very end we'll talk about different limiting beliefs that we've had in our past, and the reason why I make all this content is to show other people that if you're in business, if you're
what you do,
if you're a professor, like somebody has a story and has been where it is that you want to go. And I love people like yourself, like athletes, because you've been through all the pain to get to where you're at. So let's kind of talk a little bit about your story, like what got you into motorcycles.
Sure.
And like all of that. What was that like, and how old were you?
Well, so I was a banker for 13 years. I worked in the banking industry. I got laid off. And I said to myself, I want to do something outdoors. I want to be an outdoor woman for an outdoor job of some sort of something. And it just come across, my friend invited me to go for a ride on the back of his bike. I show up and he says, your jeans will scratch my fender. I prefer you not to ride on the back of my bumper, which had a little pad on the back. And so I was like, oh gosh, I prepared. He doesn't even realize the extent that I prepared for this. So he goes, I'll take you down to the dealership and you look at motorcycles. There's a lot of women that ride. I said, hands down, I'll go. He took me to the dealership and I bought my very first bike. I did not know how to ride. I did not know anything about a throttle, a clutch. I know about a throttle and a clutch on a car, stick shift.
How old were you?
I was around 33 years old. Yeah, something like that. And so I went to the dealership, bought the bike, and it sat there for a couple weeks while I was working on getting my license. So I had to do the 2-day riding school, and then I had to go and take the test through the DMV. So I passed everything, and then I'm like, well, how am I going to get this two-wheel Thunder back home? It's 45 minutes away from my house. So I got help, and they put it in my garage, and it sat there for a couple of weeks, and I never rode. And I was like, okay, I don't have any Harley friends down here. I don't even have motorcycle friends, like any type of bike friends. I went out on the street by myself, and I was like, I don't like this. So it sat in there for 3 months. A friend of mine said, hey, I'm going for a ride on my bike. And I said, can I come with? And he's like, well, you have to ride to keep up with us. And I was like, oh, I can do that. He doesn't realize I've only been on the bike twice. So that's really what started me into the riding aspect. So fast forward into 5 years later, I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm racing down the Scottsdale Road, and a friend of mine, he said, Valerie, you're out of control, take it to the racetrack, or I'm not going to work on your bike anymore. And his shop was the one that upgraded my motorcycle, my engine, and make it go faster, and worked on it, tuned it, and whatnot. So I was like, he's important. I really need to keep him as my friend, and I need to keep him as my mechanic, you know. So I told my other friend, Charlie Mitchell, and he said, I said, we probably should go to the racetrack. We're out of control. I mean, at the time I felt like this small, but now I feel this big, you know, because look where I'm at now. And that's, you know, we'll get to that part. But it's so, like, when you listen to one person and he tells you, and you listen and you take action, that probably was the turning point. That was a turning point in my whole entire career, my life. It changed. Everything changed.
He believed in you.
Well, he was more like upset that I was out of control, but he doesn't realize that I'm a woman and I'm trying to fit in with you all men that are racing down Scottsdale Road. I'm trying to stay in front because that's who I am. I want to be the front runner. You know, I don't want to be in the back. I want to be up front.
Man, that's so funny that you say that. Well, number one, the fact that you started at 33, you said 33. Yeah. See, most people are like, oh, I'm 33, it's too late. Yeah. Like a lot of people start at age 6, 7, or 18 or 16. Like,
well, my career really started when I was 38 years old.
Yeah.
My racing career.
That's cool because most people are like, oh, I haven't been in it in a while. I wasn't born and raised in it. So
no,
I
wasn't. Yeah.
I that's a limiting belief. Like I shouldn't do it. But you're still like, no, let's get out there and do it. And then you're talking about the sidelines, right? Or you said you wanted to be in it. You wanted to do it. You didn't want to just watch or sit on the side. You said something like that. No?
Well, it was all about, you know, like taking my bike to the racetrack, and we did, and then, you know, we were watching people race, and then we get on and do, you know, then I get to go race. So it was like, oh wow, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go straight and fast. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, sitting on the sidelines is no fun to watch, but when you are in it, you know, you're in it for the moment. You know, it's a quick moment. And so eventually now, like, I think about all my moments that I've had on the racetrack. It's like, what an amazing moments I have had. Do you know how many helmets I own that have so many thoughts? I wish that my helmet would have recorded every single energy, everything, every thought, every belief that I had in myself going down that racetrack. I wish those helmets had a recorder.
That's really cool. AI's got to make something like that. They got to have something like that.
AI does, yeah.
Like where you can, I don't know, plug it into your brain or something like that. Maybe I'm the person to invent it. You know, I don't know. Maybe I make it. That's really cool. Have you broken any bones? Have you been in any accidents or anything like that?
Well, I wasn't. We were, so when I went 328 miles per hour, that was a really rough ride. That was it was pretty rough inside the cockpit. I was doing a lot of things. A lot of things were happening. A lot of moving parts inside normally don't move around. Plus, I was only in third gear, and I was only running on 3 cylinders, and I still went over 328 miles per hour. But, so we took the bike back and got it all, like, freshened up, because we were going for it. We were going to go for the world record, which is 370, shoot, I'm having a brain... so the world record is 376 miles per hour, and we were going for it. So we wanted to be really, truly the first motorcycle to go 400, but we were more concentrated on the world record. And once we secured the record, anything faster than 376 was going to be just apples and oranges.
Yeah.
It was
so what inside of your brain and in your body and your thoughts made you want to say, like, I want to hit the record? Like, you had been training daily, right? And brainwashing yourself daily to be like, I got to hit this, right?
Well, it's, racing is 90% mental. So you really have to go through your procedures, everything that you do one thing at a time inside the cockpit, and focus on staying calm and doing. So when you go through your procedure, your routine, you have to go through real time in your head, and you have to sound it out, like, okay, first gear, one, and you keep winding it out, because I have 4 gears and it's long gears, so you have to go through that transition of
you're talking to yourself.
You're talking to yourself. And so that's how you can prepare. You prepare by the mental aspects. You prepare by the workout aspect. You were prepared by, surrounding yourself with a team. Your team is everything. And then once you get in that cockpit, everything is nice and calm, and it's like you're shut off from the world. It's like you and the motorcycle. I feel my heartbeat is that engine. We purr like a kitten back and forth together. And so, when you're inside and you're going that fast, you're not worried about the speed. You are worried about just doing everything proper, everything correct, because one little mistake, one teeny mistake can be a catastrophe.
Yeah. What did you do for training for all this?
Like, training is a workout, the mental prepare.
Yeah, like, did you read books, or like, so for an example, like me and my boyfriend, we're training to become triathletes, and it's just timing before we're going to go pro. We have to get a pro card in order for us to get invited to a pro race. So what we do is we time block 1 hour before we go to bed, and we watch a YouTube video on a pro and a documentary. And then also we go to bike shops, and then also we're tinkering with our bikes, so we know how to take it on, off. If there's a 911 emergency, we know how to change out tubes. So like, that was our training. So what was your training like? What did that consist of? Well, to help you get there?
My training is, everything is behind closed doors, but you have your team working on the motorcycle. I don't work on the motorcycle because I feel that, I feel that I'm, I just want to be the rider, I want to give the feedback of what the motorcycle is doing, what the wheels are doing, what the engine is doing, when it shifts, and if it didn't shift, and when the chutes come out, what mile marker you're at. I want to. That's my job. Their job is to make sure that bike is safe and everything is working properly, and and to have excitement and energy, to provide to, everybody. It's, it's like the more energy you have, the confidence comes out, and when your team is confident, the rider is confident. So, we didn't get a lot of preparation as a team to all sit down and go down the racetrack, because, going down the racetrack every single time, it's a 16-man band.
Wow.
There's at least 16 people, 14 to 16 people when I was racing the Bub 7 motorcycle streamliner. So it's just not like you turn key and you plug it in and let me go down the racetrack.
And you have like medical there too on the side, just in case?
Yeah, so when I go race, it's at the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's here in Utah. Or you can go to Australia in Lake Gardner, or you can go in Bolivia, which...
You're like, I'm going to stay in the U.S.?
I'm going to stay in the U.S. However, where I did set the 328 miles per hour and where I did crash was in Australia. Wow. But it's an event, and it's like, lots of spectators, lots of racers, and racers from all over the world come to, it doesn't matter if it's here in the United States or if it's in Australia or if it's in Bolivia, everybody from everywhere comes, has their bike shipped into this one area, and, we get to go race, and it's a specific time. The track is well groomed. We have all the proper devices for the racetrack, I'm getting tongue-tied. We have all the proper gear for the timing lights.
Yes.
And
are you still racing professionally now?
Well, I took a seat back on a little bit of racing. COVID really didn't do us any wonders. We had sent so after I crashed at 363 miles per hour, I took a year off, and I went into a car, and so I started racing a 43-foot car that has 5,000 horsepower, weighs 9,000 pounds.
You do really like to go straight and fast.
It's capable of going over 400 and plus miles per hour. So we sent the car down to Australia. I tested in it here in Utah, and then we sent it to Australia so we could, because that's the place for this car to go and break land speed records. And then COVID hit, so. After COVID was kind of over, I started playing pickleball. I found the new love of pickleball, and so I've been really into pickleball for the past 3 years. But racing is my is my passion still, and but I can incorporate both, because when you're an athlete as a racer, when you're an athlete as a pickleball player, they're hand in hand. There's so much in common. So I can take and I feel as a woman, at 56 years old now, I feel so much more confident about myself. Pickleball has enhanced my confidence, and now I can take it to the racetrack, and I swear I could go 800 miles per hour. 800 miles per hour.
Yeah, you've hit the ceiling. You burst through the ceiling of or the fear of me getting an accident or something happening, and
I don't think about accidents. I don't think about the what ifs. I just think about just doing my job one step at a time. And I get into the finish line, and
see, I think most people get caught up in what if it doesn't happen, but it's but what if it does?
I never think about
but if you sit there and you're just thinking about, okay, this accident, if my helmet's on too tight, or if my helmet's too loose, I'm going to mess up my skull and this and that, and then you're already bogging yourself out of having an accident versus instead of visualizing what it's like when you finish the cross line. You probably did a lot of visualization.
Yes. So your last thought is what you're going to do. When I was drag racing, and I had all these people talking in my ear, don't do this, don't do that, do this, don't do this, right when I'm at the starting line. And then the last word I heard was, don't red light. And I'm like, what do? You red light. It's the last thought. So you do not think anything negativity. You think everything positive before you get ready to have the a chance of a lifetime.
Yeah, the training's done in the dark, like you said, or the training's done when nobody else is watching you. Yeah. The competition is just,
they're all watching.
It's like your grand finale. It's your celebration story of
this is where I get to shine. This is where I get to put my pedal to the metal and do the talking instead of coming out of my words coming out. It's my foot does the talking.
Yeah. So and while you're going through this, while you're training to get faster and faster and faster too, and your mindset, did you have a coach? I want to know what was it like to be coached and then you coaching others? So did you have a coach that was there, mindset coach or something like that?
I didn't have a mindset coach. I had to learn the hard way. The coach that I had was the team owner. His name is Dennis Manning. He was, if you think about it, he was really my coach. He's the owner. He's been around the world for all of this land speed racing. He's built, about 8 motorcycles that have been extremely, they've been very successful, his, motorcycles that he's built. And his mind in the motorcycle world and from my mental aspect was somebody I looked up to. Playing pickleball now, I know a difference in the mindset now because I've done a lot of research on coaches, and picking the right coach to fit your needs is so important. And I would say that when I can get to that higher level in that pro status eventually, I mean before that I need a coach.
Yeah.
I need a coach for this. I can't do this on my own. I've learned how, I know there's no I in a team, I in team. I know that what I need and what was missing in my racing world was having a coach, a personal coach, one-on-one with me.
Yeah.
So.
What is that? Do they have pickleball coaches?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Pickleball is so mental. You make one little mistake and it just ruins your shots going forward. And, so I try to be perfect in everything I do, almost. And in racing, you have to be perfect. You have to do 1,000% right on the button. In pickleball, which is a big, huge switch, and if you make one mistake, you can make a mistake because you can recover.
Yes.
You can make mistakes in pickleball. So my mindset going through this whole transition of going from an athlete to this sport, the transition has been huge. I can make mistakes and I forgive myself right away within seconds. You have to. Where in racing, you're still caught up on those two things that you did forever. It still will haunt me to this day, if I made those kind of mistakes. And, I didn't make a mistake when I crashed, but it was Mother Nature and, things like that do happen. So, playing pickleball and making mistakes, Mother Nature does happen, but it's really up here.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, you're right. You can, I don't even have words because what you said is perfect. That you can forgive yourself instantly within 2 seconds and then just fix it.
Yeah.
The person that is forever wealthy can adapt and self-correct. Mm-hmm. Like the faster that you can forgive yourself, and they talk about it in the Bible, like forgiving yourself, forgiving other people, so that way you have a clear, conscious mind of moving on forward. That's powerful.
Because it really takes off the weight off your shoulders, and it just allows you to bring that confidence back, and then you hit that right shot, or you make that right smooth shift in your motorcycle or car.
So right now, since now you're in the field of pickleballing,
I am pickleballing.
I want to go pick up a can of pickleballs. That sounds delicious. I'm going to put it on my sandwich tonight.
That's called tennis.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Let's just get it right. It's not a paddle. It's a paddle, not a racket.
Tennis is totally different. Okay, this is like people think it's tennis. It's a way smaller ball. That's funny. I'm sure that your can of pickleballs are very nice. So now, do you have somebody that trains you right now or coaches you right now to get you to where you need to be?
I've had a great coach, and before, and he was wonderful, and it really taught me a lot about myself as well, because you really learn who you are. It's like I'm going through a stage of my life where now I'm over 55, and so now I have to readapt to a new life of this age, and I'm looking at these 19-year-olds and these 30-year-olds, and it's like, oh gosh, they move faster than me. Shoot. I just have to be 328 miles per hour fast on the pickleball court. I can do that. I can adapt.
Yeah.
Give me a motor first. But, it's not that way. So, you really have to train. And, I've got great pickleball coaches that we practice and we do certain shots, and I hire them for 1 to 2 hours, and they come to my house because I have a pickleball court at my house, and so it's it's a nice little asset to have.
And then are you coaching because you have a field of expertise with motorcycle racing? That's like your baby. Do you coach and train other people? Like let's just say I wanted to get in the sport. Could I call you? Could I pay you? And
absolutely.
Have you coach me?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't do it professionally, but I have helped so many men and women. I've actually helped more men than I've helped women. But till this day, I have been a mentor to all these wonderful women that are now, they're blooming and they're just growing. And I just give them what I went through, what I did, and what I could do better, what I could have done better, what I would do better. I just give them that kind of advice now going forward. And I have one lady, she's pretty special. She listened to one of my podcasts, and she's, she brought out this, like, oh my gosh, this fire back into me. And I was like, she told me what she heard out of my voice. It was all about my voice. She says it's different now. I've taken some time off from social media. I've taken some time off from racing in order to, start playing in pickleball tournaments and traveling all over for that. And it's things are starting to move. I'm going through a relationship, soon to be, divorcing, and, so that's
Men, she's available.
That's a little.
That's why we're doing this podcast.
No, it's really not. I take it back. I mean, my life is going through huge changes. And it's like, I don't really want to mention it, but, it's like we're talking real. We're being real. And it's the transition stage right now for me. So.
I think that's cool. That's admirable. Because most people would, I think, just crumble and break down and say,
I already
everything's
did.
over.
But now I got to pick up my
up.
pieces.
Well, I mean, there's people like me out there that see you and come across you, and where I'm just like, we need more people like you, because you're disciplined, you're focused, and you know what it takes to be the best of the best. Mm-hmm. I don't, like me, our household, me, my boyfriend, and our entire team, we do not allow anybody that has mediocrity to come around us. Mm-hmm. And if we sniff it out, you're out immediately.
Yeah.
Because like our shell in our brain, we have worked so hard to where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. So we just don't let anybody in.
One person with their words can take you and push you right back down, and you don't realize it until you're caught up in the moment, and then here you are sitting pretty all alone. And it is lonely out there when you're an athlete. It is lonely. I was so lonely on the racing tour that somebody said you should get a dog. I got a dog, and it was like the best thing.
Oh, cool.
It was the best thing. He traveled with me. He went everywhere with me. I snuck him in. He went to Starbucks. Small little Maltese dog.
Cute.
I mean, he was like yay big, and 3 pounds barely, and it just changed my life. It actually. You can't have a relationship when you're on the road, when you live on the road, from going to racetrack to racetrack to racetrack, and to have a little furry animal that loves you unconditionally was truly so meaningful for my life. It was a turning point. It made me learn how to love again, love more people and accept more people in my life, and
have compassion.
Yeah.
More compassion in your heart.
And plus, it drew attention into my pit, so all the women and the men would come in. Yeah. Oh, that little dog.
Man, dogs
my little dog.
They're deadly. Anybody, because nobody's going to be, that dog. Nobody's going to be upset when they see a dog.
When they see a little white little creature.
Yeah, can I touch? Can I pet?
Like, here, please, take him for an hour, please.
Yeah, that's a great way to attract more people. So, so you do competitions right now?
Yes, I'm competing right now. Yeah, I leave next Tuesday to go to San Clemente, and I come home for a few days. I go to Newport Beach. And
so how does that work? Like at January, at the beginning of the year, do you book out all the different places that you want to go to compete for, or do you have to?
Well, I book them as I book my tournaments. When. I just take a look at my calendar and I just start booking away.
Do you have like an agency that does it for you?
No,
or
I
just
apply? I just do it, yeah.
Okay.
I sign up for the tournaments. And usually you have partners, steady partners. And I have a few steady partners. So I play women's singles, I play women's doubles, and I play mixed doubles. So mixed doubles is men and women play against men and women. So
like the one that you're doing tomorrow, you told me before we got on here you're doing one tomorrow. So is that with just other women, or what is that like?
It's a mix. Okay. So I play against women and I play against men. So.
And what does a tournament look like? Is it like whoever gets the most points? I don't know how pickleball works.
So a tournament in this style, it's called MLP style, and we played a 21, win by 1 or 2. I don't know how they'll structure this one, but everybody has their own rules these days. So you'll play to 21, and then if you win, you get to carry on to the next field. And then if you win again, you get to carry to the next one. And it just kind of like eliminates the losing teams.
Can you practice the sport on your own?
Yes.
You're like, I already knew she was going to ask
Ball
that.
Machine, you got your coaches, you got a board you can hit against, your training, you can do your agility work, your workouts, and then your mental aspect, So when I got my pickleball court, my friend had invited me over to play pickleball. I was brand new. I didn't know how to play. And this is what started my pickleball career. And after around the 7th to 8th time, I wasn't getting invited back. So I was like, well, how come I don't get invited back? And my friend says, well, you're not good. So, I was like, they want to play with good people. I knew that, but I was like, I will be good. I will be good. So what I said to myself under my breath, I'm going to get me a coach. I'm going to build a pickleball court. I'm going to play in tournaments, and I'm going to eventually later be a pro, a senior pro.
Yeah.
Anybody over 50 is called a senior pro.
Yeah.
I have done everything I said except for being the senior pro.
I love that. You're on your way to it.
So in my racing aspect, take it to the racetrack, you're out of control, boom. Took it to the track, so I listened.
Do you have, so like me and my boyfriend, when we go into visualization, we have like a note card that we write everything that down, and we go and reread it. We read it like twice a day. Do you have something like that where you kind of like...
I write my thoughts down, and it's I don't know what I have it labeled under, but it's my thoughts, you know. So I write it on a Word document. I put it in my iPhone under my notes, and then I transport it into my notes. But that way, I have it in my notes, and I can read it whenever I want. So,
what makes you keep wanting more?
Because I just feel like I'm not done. I feel like it's so amazing that you can reinvent yourself. I'm on my third time of reinventing myself in a career aspect. And I love to do one thing at a time and be really good at it and be the best. And then I like to move on to something new. Because I need that adrenaline. I am fueled with adrenaline.
I love that. I am the same. You are my twin.
I say...
We should just label this YouTube video and this podcast Celina's twin. Like, this would be perfect. I think the same exact thing. I'm like, one is just not enough. I want to keep going. What are some current struggles that you're going through right now? Some things that are difficult for you or, challenges?
I've always been a really closed person and don't like to talk about, because everybody looks up at me and they're like, oh, I want to be like her. And I'm like, gosh, if you really knew what my real life was like, there's just... I got some struggles going on, for one, I'm going in a transition of, coming out of one sport into the next, and I still want to be into the racing aspect because, once you're a racer, the heart never leaves racing, and I'm venturing to be the pickleball, in the pickleball world, and, the home life is so big because if you don't have the foundation at home, it really ruins a lot of other, it ruins a lot of other things, opportunities. It ruins, it just is a little setback. But, going through my very first divorce is, it's huge. It's 15 years of being together and 7 years of being married. And, I never thought I would ever be married in my life because I was always so busy. I was so worried and wanting to just worry about my career and my family, and my friends, and in my racing world, I barely dated. I just concentrated on this. And so some, that kind of struggle is, taking a toll on me a little bit, but I'm feeling so much better about it now.
Good. That
I'm starting to really learn about it. And what I would love to do is help other women that are going through what I'm going through, and just giving them some advice, here's my number, call me.
Do you think actually this separation is going to help catapult you? Like have more desire and, strengthen you?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm already starting to feel that right now in my life. I feel like, when I was talking about that last podcast I just did maybe a week and a half ago, I feel like I'm coming back to my real life that I used to have. I feel like I'm coming back to myself. And I forgot who Valerie really was, the inner Valerie. You can see everything on the outer, but in the inner, I was like, I miss that about that girl. I want to get her back. And it's coming. Cool. Yeah, it just takes time. I don't want to be impatient for it. I want to take my time and get there. I want to take my time and heal. But I think it's really important to do the healing process so I can be so much better on that pickleball court and so much better in the racing world.
We here in the Elliott Group, we say recreate daily. We have core values that hang around our company. Yeah. I'll show you one of the boards in the back office, but it says recreate daily, meaning it's okay to change every single day as long as you're becoming a better version of you and becoming the best version of yourself. Yeah. And I like that. I think a lot of people lose sight on that, or they feel like they need to stay the same, or they're waiting on something like an external source to give them permission to change. It's like,
Don't wait.
No, you're
Do
the
it.
problem, but you're also the solution.
Yeah.
And nothing, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you're going to continue to get the same
You get
results.
the same results.
Yeah. If you don't change, nothing changes.
Yeah, nothing.
So it's like, if you're going to sit there and cry all day long, then of course you're going to end up being depressed. But if you're around, around good people that want to help you level up, I mean, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. And if you're hanging around badasses that know how to race and play pickleball and know how to get through struggle and tough times, it's like, well, I kind of want to be around that, because somebody can show me, hey, it's possible. Like, I went through it too. It's funny that you're talking about your separating, because I've been through that. Well, I'm sure anybody that's listening to this has been through a separation before, but I think that those things, like, God puts us in places and tells you, the people that are meant for you and aren't meant for you, and they help you grow. Yeah. Because we all don't have business problems, we have personal problems. When we can fix that personal problem, then everything else flourishes around it. So it all comes like insides. And I think that that's one thing that really attracted me to you, is when I talked to you on the phone, and I've done a lot of research on you, I felt genuineness. I'm not attracted to women that love the headlights, or love like the fame of status. I love women that love doing hard things. I love women that are sick in the head, that love pressure and doing uncomfortable things.
Eat, sleep, dream about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love, like, if there was like a female versions of David Goggins everywhere, just like crazy. Like, that's what I'm addicted to, because I'm like, show me what's possible, because if you can do it, then I can do it, and we're all just inspiring each other. And it's like, why are we on this world if we're not inspiring and motivating people every single day?
It's so, to do what we do, on and off the court, on and off the racetrack, to do what we do, and we get to inspire people, because it comes hand in hand. You truly inspire people when you do good things, and when you are a badass and you're out there racing, no matter what sport, no matter what job it is, you can be a badass in everything and anything you do. And that's what I love about us women, that we get to shine, and this is our time to shine, and to be a badass. People will flock to you. They will find you inspirational. They will they seek and, pick your brain, and they want your energy, and you give it to them just by chatting with them and talking to them.
And I love, again, another thing I love about you is I want the results.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of women that say that, I want to do the hard stuff. There's a lot of women that, I don't know, that they like to talk all day long. And I'm like, okay, talk all day long.
I let my foot do the talking, or my throttle.
Give me your numbers. That's what I want to see. Like, give me your real results. Like, are you really out there doing the tough stuff? Are you really waking up early every single morning to doing your reading? Are you really doing the grind? And I think that's kind of like why I have a level of respect for you. There's a book, it's called Psychology of Money. And inside of the book, it's a phenomenal read if you haven't read it, but it talks about the way that you spend your money is based off of your cultural experiences and the way that you were raised for what matters to you and what doesn't matter to you.
That is so true. I believe in that.
Yes.
The way I was raised was, old-fashioned by my grandparents. Yeah. I want you to work in a bank. I want you to be like your aunt. I balance my checkbook to the penny. I mean, I
know.
got into
my
the banking
grandparents
world.
are like, wait, you're not going to keep your receipt from the grocery store? I'm like,
oh, you're not going to put that into your checkbook?
I know.
You're
I'm like, it's 2 water bottles. It was $2 for I'm good, But this book, it just talks about most people in the world right now in today's time, they want the money, the light, the handbags, and the big houses. Yeah. But that is false. What people actually desire is respect. People want to be respected. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I really thought long and hard about that. And I'm like, I'd rather have somebody's respect than showing off a flashy, car or monetary things. Yeah. Like, I want to earn people's respect to say, you know what, she did something hard and I look up to that.
You say that, and that hit me, because when I first met my husband, it was going through the bad economy. My racing was put on hold because all my sponsorship got taken away because the economy in 2009, 2010 took place. And so when I met my husband in 2010, I mean, we didn't really have a pot to piss in, so excuse my language. We were like, I owned a condo, and I have motorcycle and my trailer and my truck, and I had my career already established before I met him. And when I met him, he was going through a rough time too. He was going through, a separated divorce and losing a lot of things in his life. And we were buying 50-cent loaf bread, at the time. We were like making it, working it, and figuring out how can we do this. We had a good life like that for 5 years, just trying to pick up the pieces. And then in the 6th year, things started to change for him. And so he was now back on top. He was now making good money. Yeah, so we got the big house, we got the fancy cars, I got the fancy handbags. And now it's like I look back at all of that, and I wish I would have just been able to keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like some of my friends I lost because they thought I got too big. But I just grew with my husband. I grew with his appetite of wanting to be big. I adapted to that. I did changes for that. We came from a 1,400 square foot condo into a 6,400 square foot house. And that was a huge change for me because, first of all, it was like, yeah, do I like this? Yeah, it was awesome. And now I think about it, I'm like, God, I wish I would have just kept my life simple. And, I wish I had friends back in those, my friends still, but, unfortunately we grow apart from each other, and, things happen, and, we all change, but we change within what we feel is the good change.
Before we got on this, we did actually a 10-mile bike ride this morning, speaking of bikes, and, Josiah actually came over to our house, and he was just filming us around the block, getting some content before he came over here. And I was looking in the garage. We have trainers for our bikes, our just regular bicycles.
Yeah.
And so we can ride around like the neighborhood and on a track and whatnot. But we have, like, if we were strapped on a time, we can hook up our bike to a stabilizer, just something that's stationary, and we can bike in the garage. And I made a complaint, and I totally am taking this back because you're reminding me to stay humble and have gratitude. But I was sitting there, and I remember like, the flooring of this house. We just bought this beautiful house actually 2 months ago, and here I am like, this flooring is just, I don't like it. And the cabinets that are in here, like, it just looks cheap. It looks like somebody just picked it from Goodwill and put it in here. I'm like, I want it all gutted out. I want to paint it. I want to redo the floors. We need to do this. And I'm like, I want to put a TV on the wall so when we're cycling, we can watch TV too. And I'm like, upgrading all these things. And it's funny that you say that because I'm like, man, maybe I should just leave it the way that it is, because it just reminds you of keeping things simple, because once you do one thing, then you want to do all the stuff. You'll do everything,
and it'll turn into like a whole project. Then you're going to be hating it for a while, and then it's like,
and
the outcome, the results.
Everybody's like more and bigger and bigger and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And it just, you saying that right now, I'm just like, it grounds me, because I'm like, you know what? Like, I should just be grateful that I'm here. We're in a room with AC. We have water. I'm nourished. Like, those are the simple things. And and I put in the work this morning. Like, I biked 10 miles. I'm proud of myself. And
it's amazing.
Keeping it simple like that, you're right.
I just look back now and I see, I do wish, would I change some things? Yeah, but would I change a lot of things to keep it simple? Absolutely. Once you go big, it's hard to go back to this, but it's going to be great to go back to the smaller environment and the less stress of having a landscape or a big pool and this and this and that is going to be so nice,
Just be you.
But just to be like, I can lock up my condo, I can leave, I can lock it up, and I don't have to worry about a thing, except for my 2 dogs to bring with me. I now have 2 fur babies.
Yeah,
Britt and Bentley, they're both Malteses.
That's cute. And will they be going with you to California too?
They're going to a doggy sitter.
Oh, very good. So have you already made that transition? Like, you're good, you're in your spot now, and things
I haven't
are
yet.
going well?
We still live together, so we're trying to commingle in the same home. But it's so big that one side is his and one side is mine, and so. We're at our very beginning stages of it, but, we've always known the past 3 years that it was... Yeah.
Well, the nice part about our company, our team, we probably have about 80 people total inside of this company, but we've got like 15 coaches, life coaches that are here, and our team is your team. And that's what I share with everybody that sits inside of these seats in this podcast.
It's not the hot seat, but it's the yellow seat.
Yeah, it is.
Like it.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of people that are lonely in life, and I've experienced a lot of loneliness. And I feel like our company ensures that nobody else goes a day feeling alone again. And our company was started off that way. So Andy Elliott, the founder of our company, he went to a self-development, like some kind of Grant Cardone conference, I think like 6 years ago when they first started saying, hey, we're going to start the Elliott Group and do sales training and leadership training. He goes, I'm going to go to a conference. He goes to this conference, swipes his credit card for like $10K for a ticket, and he's like, I'm going to sit in this room, like I'm gonna learn, I'm going to go get to meet Grant and all these other people. So I guess the VIP ticket, it came with like a dinner, and then the next day was the actual teaching day. And he went into the room and saw this lady sitting in the corner, and he's like, I'm going to go talk to the lady, because you could tell like all the high class entrepreneurs, they were all huddling and talking over here. And then you got the outskirts people that are uncomfortable, but they bought the ticket. And he goes over to her and she's like, hi, I'm Andy, nice to meet you. And she's like, I don't even know if I should be here right now. Like, I feel so uncomfortable.
I would have given my VIP ticket to her.
She bought the VIP ticket.
Oh,
she was there in the room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she was just like, I don't even feel welcome. Like, I don't even feel like I'm supposed to be here. Like, I'm questioning if I just wasted all my money because I don't feel part of it. Andy left. He told me the story 2 days ago. Andy left the conference immediately and went home, bought a plane ticket, went home, didn't even spend the rest of the night at the dinner or the conference. He came home, called his wife, and he goes, I know exactly what we're going to do. Like, we're going to build this, but it's going to be for everybody, because nobody is going to be left out, because I'm never going to let anybody feel the way that she felt around us. And it's funny because I didn't know that story. It gives me chills thinking about it. I didn't know that story until 2 days ago. But that lady and that life has been me for 20 plus years of my life. With my parents being in the military. My parents were prior military. And my mom pulled a second late night job waitressing. So I was home, and I didn't have any brothers or sisters until I was 15, 16. So not only was I alone there, but I think people like us are very different because we think differently. And so I was always left out of school parties, like girls having sleepovers. I was always last to get a RSVP invite. Or if somebody couldn't make it, then I got the leftover one. I was just always familiar. I was always left out, and I always wondered as a little girl, like, man, I mean, I don't know if it's because my family wasn't well off, or like we didn't have a lot of money because we didn't. But I couldn't understand why nobody wanted to be around me, because I was a really nice kid. I wasn't a bully. My mom, she would whoop my ass if she found out that I was a bully. Like, I wasn't a bully. She always told me to be kind. So I was just so confused at like, why nobody wanted to be around me.
You didn't know where you fit, right?
Yeah, and it was awkward for me. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I'm never going to let somebody be like that Celina, and Andy telling that story. I'm never going to be like that woman in the corner. So like for us, anybody that attends our events, anybody that comes around us, when we have events, we never let that person sit in the corner.
That's so
We're like,
awesome.
hey, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Valerie. Like, you guys are going to get to know each other. We're constantly like pairing meeting. Like I told you, we go to church together because we never want our team or anybody to ever be left out. And, like, I guess, I don't even know why I'm sharing this, but I'm just telling you, like, our team is your team. Like, you're a part of us, especially because you're in Arizona. So, like, we love doing everything with other people, because Andy and I have both been left out, and we're, like, screw being left out. That's, we don't
it really hit home, and I kind of was starting to feel a little emotional for that when you said that it's lonely, talking about the loneliness. Athletes go through a lot of loneliness, or just people in general. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do in this life, but there's so many lonely people out there. And I started feeling lonely for the past year, and I started to withdraw myself to, how do you say that? When you take away, like, you don't want to be around anybody. You don't want people to hear your story. You don't want to talk about it because,
total introvert, getting into a shell.
Yeah, I got into a shell, and I started they would invite me, and I would like, no, I'm busy, I got such a busy schedule. I would make up excuses not to. And here I am watching Netflix with my dog sitting on the bed. You know, it's like I withdrawed myself.
Yeah.
And I'm starting now to come out of that. And it's starting to feel so good. And I'm like, okay, this is just the new beginning.
Yeah.
This is the new.
That's a recreation.
Yeah, recreation. So I'm reinventing myself. And now it's like going through this kind of stage. It's like, okay, what do I do with myself? I got to find a job. I need a job. I need to support myself now, Pickleball is not going to support myself, but my racing was my support, so it's either do I go back into it full time or do I do the pickleball full time? And it's like, I'm sticking to pickleball because I'm going to sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to be back on top. I'm going to be independent. And I'm just going to, it's like Stella stole my groove, but I'm taking her back.
I love that. I was, so Jacqueline and me both know that I have this podcast with you today because we had to reserve out the room.
Yeah.
And Jacqueline is really, really big, Andy's wife. Actually, she built the company. Everybody thinks Andy built the company because he's on the forefront with the microphone.
Yeah.
He did not, just putting it out there. Jacqueline Elliott actually built the company.
Oh, okay.
The whole facility, the grounds work, everything, it's all her.
You
Andy
gave me
is
a
just
nice
on the
tour.
microphone.
It was so awesome. I can't wait.
So I told her about you, and we're really big into empowering women that come around us because we need more strong women, whether you're in business or not. I mean, technically, you being in your motorcycle space, that is your own. You are an entrepreneur.
20 years later,
you're creating. I mean, you got to create your own brand. You got to create your awareness if people know who you are. Anyways, I was sitting down with her and I told her about your story and where you're coming from, and we wanted to give something to you, and we got this custom made. So we only have 100 of these made for ladies, and we've decided that we wanted to gift you with one of them. So it's a pink lion pin.
Oh my gosh.
And it's magnetic, so you can stick it right on your shirt.
I would love that.
So we have like our regular ones, but this one is a pink one to empower women, and we got these custom made specifically. And I told her about you yesterday, and she is like, grab a pin from my desk and make sure that she doesn't leave here without one.
Oh.
So
thank you. I'm going to cherish this.
Yeah, so that's from
I
us.
love these kinds of things. In my racing world, of growing up into the racing world, little kids would give me something, a little something like this. And so I started to, every year I would get a little big pile. Every year I would put it into a little plastic baggie, and in my race suit I would put it, in the race suit they made these little lines in here, or the big race suits, and I can stash my Lucky Charms or whatever I get from people. So I take this and I put it in my little pocket, and so at the end of the year, so I put a little bag. This is my 2007. This is my 2008.
That's cool.
When I crashed, I had, my mom. She passed away in 2018, and she was in the hospital. And I said, and I was getting ready to go to Australia weeks later, and I said, Mom, I go, how fast do you think I'm gonna go? Write it on this piece of paper. And she wrote 380 miles per hour, and she drew a heart around it, and she made it all nice and pretty and colorful. And so I took a photo of it, and I put it into my little pocket, and it's like, I'm going 380 miles per hour.
I love that.
So those are the kind of little things that I do behind closed doors that, I'm such a little, this is perfect.
That's so cool. Well, we've loved our time here with you. Before we end this podcast, is there anything final that you'd like to say, or I want to give the floor to you so you can share your thoughts.
It's just, doesn't matter who you are, men or women, it's, if you're thinking about changing a lifetime career, or you're trying to pull yourself together to get into a different industry or to keep your current industry, just, stay in there, believe in yourself, think big, dream big, surround yourself with the right team or the right people, because you can't do it alone. And if you ever need some advice, you can always reach out to me through Instagram, Facebook, my website.
And I was going to say...
my website is ValerieThompsonRacing.com, and you can find all my social...
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, you can find me there. And so I did take a time off of social media because I had to help myself in the mental aspect for my mental health, and it helped, So I posted today that I was coming, that I'm back, and that I was, do the interview with you. And so I'm so grateful to have met you and to have this opportunity to share my 20-year life journey.
I love it. Well, until next time, guys, we will see you very soon where we're going to shatter limiting beliefs. This is Miss Valerie Thompson. To contact her, get a hold of her, you can look inside of the description and we'll have her website and contact info, Facebook, Instagram as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Hey, Elliott Army, what's going on? Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you like that video, you're going to love this other content. Here's a couple of other videos that are very similar to that one. Let's get it.